to Joe Goes Everywhere, a Big Blend radio food, wine, and travel podcast featuring award-winning photographer and travel writer Joe Clark. Let's find out where she's taking us today. Today, Joe is taking us to Myrtle Beach. She's going to give us a taste of Myrtle Beach because this is an awesome destination in South Carolina. We've all heard about the Grand Strand, about Myrtle Beach being a vacation hub, but apparently this area has over 2,000 restaurants, and she's got a short list of must-dos. And so, Joe, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good, but like 2,000 restaurants in Myrtle Beach, that's a lot.
It explains a lot about my belly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how did you whittle
There's
this
no way to
down?
lose weight here.
Well, you do beach yoga, so that's good. And you get to walk on the beach. So you have that healthy quality of life. And a lot of the food, like you say in your article, and everyone, you can go to Joe's website for this, recipes travelculture.com. You can also follow her at haveglasswilltravel.com because she does. And she goes everywhere, right? But she's in her backyard today, which I love because I think locals know, right?
Like we do, and we don't tell everything we know.
Well, we want you to.
I'm telling a lot, but I'm not.
Do you have wine
everything.
yet? Do you have wine so we can get the full scoop? Like, have a sip. Have a sip.
Sure.
All right.
Have a sip.
All right. So, is there a good wine to be had in South Carolina?
Well, there's Total Wine and More who carry wine from every country.
Well done. Well done.
If you're looking for good wine at the beach, you're looking at muscadine wine, which is very healthy. The muscadine grapes are known for their health benefits, even if it's in a wine or a juice. But the muscadine wines are sweeter. They're not what you think of as fine dining wine or food wines. They're more they're sweeter.
Okay. Well, hey, sounds
there
good
are
to me.
Some good ones. You just have to find them. You have to taste and try them.
Well, let's talk about, because you say in your article again on recipes travelculture.com, everyone, the links are in the show notes as always. A lot of the restaurants are looking at, they really focus on seafood, which makes sense. Look at the backgrounds here for those watching on YouTube. You've got the ocean background, and so that's a big deal.
Yeah, we love our seafood, fresh seafood. I mean, people talk about farm to table all the time, but you know, we've got the water to table. It just sort of washes ashore and into your plate. Everything from oysters to crabs to all kinds of fish.
Do you get fish and chips like how they do in England with the malt vinegar and everything? Does anyone do that?
You can. There are pubs that have fish and chips. Some of my favorite places. One is Kakalaki Seafood
Oh, you
Company.
put that in your article? I just want to go because I want to say Kakalaki.
Kakalaki. There you go. Yep, Kakalaki. He has a lot of. It's a seafood store, so you can go in and buy raw seafood and take it home and cook it yourself. But why bother when they have a counter and you can go in and pick out your seafood and then have them cook it, and they already have the sides ready. They have desserts ready. Just good country cooking. They have sweet potato fries. They have collards. They have hush puppies to die for.
And I love hush puppies.
The butter that they make their own blend butter. I think there's some lime juice in there, but I know there's lemon.
Do you put honey on yours? I used to put hush puppies with honey.
I think their butter has a little bit of honey in it.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. So you don't need anything but their butter, trust me. And you could just eat two baskets of hush puppies and nothing else and be perfectly happy.
So, but this, so they're like a store. So, we talk about this where we're losing the day of the butcher and, and the seamonger.
You have to hunt for a butcher.
Yeah, right. And
we do have them.
We do have them, but yeah, when you find someone where you can actually go get fresh seafood from, that it hasn't been shipped in for 2,000 miles, frozen, defrosted, frozen and defrosted, because you never know with that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Ours is fresh off the boat. And we've got besides Kakalaki, there's 2 or 3 fresh seafood places in Murrells Inlet. They're coming straight off their own boats. They
Oh,
have their
wow.
own fleet going out and coming in, and it's not like they're not the middleman. They caught them and brought them to the store and sell
Oh,
them. And then
wow.
as far as shrimp, we can buy shrimp off of a pickup truck. I know 3 places that I can go this afternoon and get fresh shrimp that were
But
swimming this morning.
this is important too, because about visitors coming, so many people go and get, like, for coastal, like, condos. I don't Tell me about the lodging makeup on this, but like in Florida, I know you can get condos, you can get, the vacation rentals.
Yep.
So families coming, wanting to
Entire
cook
houses.
something, be local. Yeah, entire
Yep.
houses. I'm pro and against it, but I'm just saying, because there's a balance that has to be had depending on where you are in the country, where, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But
We've definitely
but
got it all. Hotels,
yeah,
entire
but you can make
houses
your
that,
own food from if you
oh
don't know
yeah.
how to fish, or you went fishing and maybe didn't have the best fishing day, you know what I mean? You can still
Yeah, if you
go
didn't
and
catch it,
have a,
maybe they did.
yeah. And so, like, when you talk about kakalaki, because I just want to say it again, like, if you are maybe staying at a hotel, you can go get that and take it back to your room and eat it. Or do you eat it on site? Or
Either.
okay.
They have a sectioned off part of the store with that in the front. When you first come in, there's the counter where you can order your food and pay for your seafood. There's the seafood to the right of that, and then there's a small section with condiments and
Oh, cool.
like you said, the malt vinegars, the
Ooh,
mustards, things that you
tartar
might
sauces.
need to go, yeah, the sauces to go with the seafood. Then there is a section of tables, and it's a really pretty little place. It's an old building. I think that building has been a donut place, it's been a chicken place, and now it's a seafood place. And it's just a little small nondescript building. From the front, you'd look at it and think, why is she sending me here? Don't ask questions, just go in and eat. um, on the back of the building, there are murals that have been painted that kind of tell the whole story of that area from the day of the Native Americans who lived here on progressing on through to the fishermen of today. So it's just really, it's a
That's
really
cool.
mural that goes around the whole side and back of the building.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I love murals because it tells the history of a community,
it
and it's
does.
about pride in community. And sometimes you get to a town, you know this as a traveler, right? You get to a town, maybe the welcome center is closed and things are kind of like, you get there and it's
Yeah,
still
you come
daylight
in
and
on
you're
the
like,
weekend and nobody's open.
yeah, but the mural will tell you a little bit of that story where you kind of had this different version. Like, it's a different, you can go and Google it and everything, but a mural is just kind of this, like, this is what we're proud of. This is what the locals say. And like you're saying, this article, because this is your backyard, and having this conversation is places that, it's not good just once. It's good the second time, the third time, the fourth time, right?
Yeah,
That's the
it's good
thing.
every time you go, and different every time you go because you don't know what they caught this morning.
Oh, okay.
If they've got trigger fish, it's hands down my choice. If
Uh-huh.
they don't have trigger fish in the case, then I'm thinking about what else I want. But
Well,
they
I have
have a
trigger
wide
finger.
variety.
I'm just just happens when I drive. But anyway, I'm not I won't go there, but this is really cool. And what's also interesting about your article is you write, it's pretty much like you're giving us a taste of Myrtle Beach, but it's very global. So one of the places you talk about at the beginning is Cafe Old Vienna. So now you're getting into like German food. Like now,
German. Yep. Yep. They were raised, the husband and wife were raised in Germany and Austria. They worked in restaurants and hotels. They have their culinary degrees from Germany and Austria. And now they're here in Myrtle Beach. His aunt and uncle had this small little restaurant. I think it had 8 tables maybe when it started. And they outgrew that, of course. And now they are in a much larger building, and it's a building I know from my teenage years. It
wow.
was the Pizza Inn, and that it was a pizza place. so it's kind of neat to go back there, and now it's German and Austrian food, and it's the pile of food you get, it's like enough to feed four at the table, and it calls it a dinner for two. And then, of course, the soup was wonderful. The dessert was gorgeous. The apple strudel is made in house. Some of the other desserts,
Oh,
like the Black Forest cake and things
oh,
like that, come from a local bakery just right up the street from them. So, but that
wow.
apple strudel was something else.
An apple strudel, a good strudel is a really good thing, And the other one is Hearts Cafe and More.
Yes,
And this is, I mean, now this has also got like a European flair to it,
it
right? So
does.
a lot of this is interesting. Well, I
He's got
think
a
coastal
German background,
coastal
and
communities draw in people from all over.
yeah, everybody loves the beach.
That's right.
And we've got 20 million visitors a year. 20 million
Wow.
people can't be wrong.
Wow. That's a lot. Well, that's why I would say we always hear about Myrtle Beach. It's one of
Yep,
those places that you can talk to anybody in the country and they know Myrtle Beach and probably the world since you've got a whole bunch
right.
of different ethnicities, and I love diverse communities because you're going to have good food and something you've never tasted before, to
You can go.
experience.
We've got everything here. We really do. We've got a couple of the newer places. One that I just read about and haven't been to yet is a a group of women from the Ukraine. So I'm interested in trying that
Oh,
in the next
that's
few
cool.
days. There's of course an Armenian place, lots of Italian.
Mm,
Naturally, there's steak places, but my favorite steak place is Texas Roadhouse, and that's a chain.
right. But
So
if they
sue
do it
me.
well, they do
You
it
know,
well.
if you do it right, that's all that counts, and that's the best steak in Myrtle Beach is Texas Roadhouse in Surfside.
Mm. So, so let's go back to Hearts Cafe. Tell us what you get there
Okay,
because it
I'm
seems
ready.
like you get bakery treats and classes. Is that where you did your gnocchi class?
It is. They open early in the morning, so people on the way to work can stop and get coffees, different flavored coffees or
Oh,
teas, and bakery items. They have wonderful muffins. They have, um,
and this is when you want to steer away from the chains. I'm just saying, it's nice to
yes, yes. You
go
always
support the small
locals always
business.
better. Locals
Yeah.
always better. It's they have lunch, of course, sandwiches and soups, and then they have more lunch and dinner items, but they close at 6. So it's not a place you're going to go and sit down for dinner and be there till 8 or 9 o'clock. But you can get it and take it home. And they have pierogi dinners and things like that.
Oh,
But they close because they do cooking classes at night, which start at 6:15.
wow.
So and they have some kind of a cooking class almost every night. If you're not very good wielding a knife, they have a whole class in knife skills, which would probably be really useful. but but I'm more
Yep.
interested in the food. I don't want to just cut. I want to go and cook and eat. And
Mm.
you get to eat after you finished cooking. So you make your dishes, and they teach everything from sushi to, I think there's a cake decorating class one night. Uh,
Wow.
I did the gnocchi class, and that was a lot of fun. We did two different kinds, and he already had the Sunday sauce, the red sauce made, but to save time for us. But the gnocchi dough then that I brought home and made more at home, I made a brown butter and sage
Mm.
sauce and put my gnocchi in that. And oh, that was just, I did that two different times. It was so good.
Well, when you're doing this kind of thing and went to the class, did you see couples? It sounds like a nice gathering and like an
It
activity
was a
for
mixture.
friends.
Yep,
Yeah,
it was
like
a
and
mixture. We had a
something for
couple.
solos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was we had a couple there. Me solo. We had a mom and three teenage one. Well, one was I think a junior in high school, and then the other two daughters were both a little older,
Oh,
and
cool.
one daughter is vet. So we had a good mixture that night. and a lot. I think I was the only one maybe that had not been before. They had all had at least one other class before.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty neat. And they have a junior chef class. And I think this summer they're
Oh, I
going to
love
have
that.
kind of a almost like a summer camp where the junior chefs can come and do 2 or 3 different classes.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
I would have loved that as a teenager, I think.
Right. Back in, my day of that was home economics, and it was about you becoming the best wife, kind of.
Wife.
You know what I mean? Oh, you have
Yeah.
to, it was the way
Yeah,
it
we
was
grew
not
up
an
about the
exciting,
same
it was,
mindset.
yeah, it wasn't like presented as like this is fun and creative and something, it was like if you don't learn how to do this, you'll never feed your baby, and
That's
your
right.
husband
You'll
will get
starve to
mad if you
death. Your
don't do it.
husband will
Yeah,
leave you.
yeah, yeah. And now I'm going good. No, but you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's a different thing. Well, I want to move on to, you talked about Italian restaurants. You brought up Villa Romana. And so I love this, I love that you have all these different cultures. I know it makes up cities have that, but look, an Italian restaurant, there's good Italian food, and then some people want to label it Italian food. And when you do that, the other Italians get mad at you.
Yeah, yeah. Some of it's
Yeah.
more Chef Boyardee out of a can.
Yeah, yeah. And we can all know the difference, you
Yeah,
know?
we do. We do. We can go somewhere that's much better. Um, yeah, the Villa Romano again. They're here from Italy. They weren't born and raised here. So we've got people who have moved to this area from other countries, and they
Mm.
brought their skills and their recipes with them. Um, so they have wonderful food. They have Michael, who plays the accordion every night and
Oh, cool.
entertains, and he'll wander through the restaurant and stand and entertain at your table if you're paying attention to him. And if you're trying to have a conversation, he goes the other direction. He pays attention to what's happening. But that's always a lot of fun to listen to him play. Um, that it's a white dinner, white tablecloth dinner.
Oh, nice. So
So
for
it's
like a nice special
yeah,
meal.
it's a more special occasion for me anyway. I think that, um, and it's not. Some of the restaurants are a little faster. They're not fast food like drive through,
Right.
but they're faster. This is a slower pace where you can enjoy visiting with friends.
And
You
not feel like you're getting kicked out to have the next tabletop come in.
No, but you
Yeah.
do have a reservation.
Mhm.
If you go off season, even if you go off season, if you go later in the evening, you're going to need a reservation because
Mm.
it does fill up, and it's a pretty big place. Um, we usually try to go about 4:30. They open, I think they open at 4, and we try to get in there by about 4:30 and eat earlier, and that way we don't feel as rushed.
Mm.
But
That's
I've
nice. That's
I've been when they've been lined up all the way across the parking lot and you couldn't find a parking place.
so this is a special place
It is. It is. It's a busy place and
for a reason, it
excellent
sounds
wait
like.
staff, excellent food, good wine list. So
Wow.
it's a
So
special place.
so we've got Germany, we've got Italy, we've got local seafood, and then you've got a Vietnamese noodle house, Faux Claire. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Eau Claire, yes. We have several Vietnamese places. My most recent visit was Faux Claire. They've been open, I think, about 6 years.
Mm.
And shout out to Austin. They had a wonderful server. He was attentive. He was knowledgeable. When you said, which
Mm.
one of these, what are these like? I haven't had any of these faux dishes. And he was quick to say which were his top 2 or 3 and why. So you knew he had been eating the food. He knew what he was
That's
talking about.
nice. Well,
And
you
he
know
was
what? That's part of the thing. It's not always the food, because if they have a bad day in the kitchen, which we all hope that doesn't happen, but everyone
Yeah,
has a bad day, right? Pilots
right.
are not allowed to have a bad day, neither are drivers. But
That's true.
but it happens in the kitchen. And it really is about how the staff handles everything. right?
It is.
It
It
is,
is.
I mean, and you can, but at the same time, we can't always please everybody because that's just the way life is, which sucks. We know that part of it, but you can't. And the sooner we all learn that in life, the better. But
But
the staff can make
they
things,
make the difference. If it's not
yeah.
good, that's your front line of, this doesn't taste quite right. This isn't what I expected. If they quickly say, let me get you what I like, let me try this instead. If they're quick to come across with a suggestion, it turns that whole bad experience around.
Into more of
Not
an
that we had
adventure,
one there. He didn't have anything to turn around, but I
right?
mean, he was good with my phone. He took the picture of the two of us with our lunch, mimosa, and sangria. Um,
Oh,
so that, yeah, they had a little wine list. They had sangria and mimosas. They had beers, and then lots of Vietnamese choices.
mm.
Um,
And pho, that's like a soup, noodle soup. That's really
Noodle
can go.
soup with
I mean, you
other
could have,
stuff,
yeah, vegetables, but you go with what on the type of heat you want, right? And then what
right?
kind of vegetables, and it can have
And
meat,
meats. They had
right?
all
Meats.
kinds of meats to add. I did the rare beef and brisket, and one of the others that I looked at, he said, now that one's going to be a little tough. You might not like the steak in that one because it's a tougher cut, um,
Mm,
more tendon in it. And so like I said,
mm,
Austin was very knowledgeable and helpful.
mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he told us all the different things that can come on the Vietnamese donut for dessert,
Oh,
like the chocolate sauce and whipped cream, and it could have strawberries, it could have bananas. And we were like, all of the above. And he said,
yeah.
I got you. So, he took good
Wow,
care of us. As you can see from the picture, we got all the above, and it
that's
was
awesome.
delicious. It was delicious.
I didn't even know that kind of donut existed. Like,
I
is it?
didn't either. They were long, but puffy and empty inside, almost kind of like a cross between a maybe a croissant and an
Oh,
eclair.
so
Um,
light.
it was light and airy inside, and it was just delicious. It really was. So we really enjoyed that. And
Mm.
then, of course,
Yeah.
you've got plenty of Japanese places and hibachi places, and
Oh, I love the hibachis.
yeah, me too.
Hmm.
Plenty
Tell
of
tell us about
Chinese.
Surfside Charlie's because this sounds like a
It
fun
is.
place.
It's a local place. It's a couple of blocks from my house, so that's
Uh-oh.
always
And
nice.
there's happy
Yeah,
hour, so you
they have
can.
happy hour with a cut on the prices of some of the drinks and beer and wine, and reduced price on some of the appetizers. So you can go and make a pig of yourself for several hours
Well,
and
they apparently
call
they
it
have a lot
dinner.
of pork, so maybe you don't want to eat yourself, but
That's
you said
true.
there the pulled pork is a big deal there.
Oh yeah, they have great pulled pork. They have they have a different special every night. So it could be the pulled pork barbecue sandwich. It could be on Friday night. It's the prime rib, which is my favorite night to go because put a big slab of prime rib on my plate, hanging off both sides of the plate. I'm good. That's all I
Uh,
need.
yeah,
Um, and they have a nice bar area. You can sit at the bar if you go in alone, if you're traveling alone, and people still travel
yeah,
alone to Myrtle Beach. I
sure.
did back in the day. I came alone lots of times. Um, but it's a friendly place. You can go sit at the bar and you can have your entire meal at the bar, and the bartender will chat you up and keep you company while you eat. Um, they
Nice.
have an entire upstairs area that we have used for uh, a neighbor's birthday party. Another neighbor who had a Christmas party, she just had a neighborhood Christmas party and used up the upstairs at Charlie's. And they
Cool.
have large, they'll create large pans of food, of meatballs and different things. So if you're
It seems
having
like
a
a
party,
locals
they'll
hangout.
feed you. Yeah.
Sounds like a locals, you said it was a Cheers bar of Surfside.
It is. That's kind of how I look at it. When you go in, everybody knows you. The cook gets to know you and comes out and talks. So it's kind of
Nice.
a neat place. And Surfside Charlie's, Charlie is actually the owner's daughter. Her name is,
Okay,
I
cool.
think, Charlotte. It might be Charlene, but they call her Charlie. So it's Surfside Charlie's, but it also the initials SC for South Carolina.
Sweet.
Kind of
Nice.
cute.
That is, does South Carolina have like a specialty food? I always kind of look at that, like if kind of think about that, because you guys have
Um,
so many cultures within your state. Be
we
hard to
do.
kind of pick like, because
Well,
it,
we go from the mountains to the ocean.
right. So it's kind of,
I would here. I would say some of our specialties would be the shrimp and grits, um, and any kind of seafood almost. Um,
hmm.
yeah, I lean toward the shrimp and grits as kind of a local
And
special.
you're into okra, right? That's one
Oh
of your
yeah,
things.
fried okra, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
everybody's got a weird thing about okra. So, not weird, but you either really love it or don't. Like
or
some
don't.
people don't like avocados. I'm like, what?
What's not
And
to
some people
like?
don't like chocolate. Some people don't like wine. What?
Shocking.
It's okay because it's more for us that really do
That's
enjoy
true.
it, you know.
That's true.
But yeah, that's interesting about, but then you got to think of the coast. I mean, the last time we were in South Carolina, we went all along the coastline and you have small, tiny communities, and people are out there with their shrimp boats. And it's not just going out in the ocean. You have these like lagoon areas, these marshlands that
We
to
do.
me that's an interesting hub of different kinds of food. So because Nancy and we're allergic to fish and seafood completely. Like that's never, we'll go to a
Uh,
hospital, but we don't want that. We don't want to play EpiPens because we don't want any needles, none of
no.
that. But I mean, respect what's going on, and I'm curious about it because I know some people eat like in England they have what's called cromer, which is like a kelp or a seaweed that they eat. And Glenn, you met Glenn over in England, and he loves it, and I'm going, well, good for you. That's nice, But I mean, people who eat that, do you eat any of that? Because whenever I go out there, I look at all this greenery and wonder, is anybody eating the greens from these areas? I'm wondering if they put that in there.
Well,
Any of
in
the
some instances, and I can't think of the name of that salty marsh plant.
Oh,
I've
the
had
river
it here
grass,
and I've
the
had it in
sawgrass.
Florida.
There's a river grass, there's sawgrass,
It's
there's
not grass, it's something else. It has a different
oh,
name than that, and it's got kind
okay.
of a fatty
Like a
little
sea
leaf.
oat? Sea oats?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, this grows in the marshy water. It's down
Okay.
in the water, and I've gathered it when I've been kayaking with a group in Florida,
I know what you're
and so
talking about.
I know we have it here, but it's delicious. It's salty. It's really
Oh.
good in a salad. Um,
So it's kelp, like kelp.
I guess similar.
Well, I don't know if that's there's sea kelp. Well, that's good. I mean, you can eat, I mean, sea vegetables. I mean, why not? I think they do it in the Pacific Northwest too. You can eat like sea cucumbers, but isn't that still a fishy thing? I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know about a sea cucumber. They're pretty slimy looking.
Ah,
You were talking about
yeah.
okra. I think the sea cucumber is probably a lot slimier than
Well,
a
that's what
cucumber.
people get
I
weird
mean,
about
a
is the texture.
okra.
But is there a way to prepare okra that doesn't do that?
Oh, to me, yeah. I mean, uh, if you slice it into like little rounds, um, or in strips, then I like to soak it in buttermilk and then dip it in a mixture of flour and cornmeal and
Oh,
salt
like
and
buttermilk
pepper.
chicken, like what you would do for a
Yeah, kind of,
buttermilk fried chicken.
and then fry it like that. There's a place I like in Georgetown, SoCo, that Southern Cooking, SoCo, or South
Yeah.
Carolina. It could be either.
Yeah, right.
um, but they make okra strips and they cut it long ways, and then they dip it in almost a tempura batter and
Oh,
fry it, and then dip it in tomato bacon jam.
oh, tomato bacon jam. Now
Uh,
that's okay. Now wait a minute. Can't you do
we're gonna have to stop this. I need to go to
wait?
Georgetown.
Now what about pickled okra. Can you use pickled
Oh
okra in
yeah,
a
I
Bloody
make
Mary?
pickled okra. Yeah, I like pickled okra.
In a
Uh,
Bloody Mary.
in or out of a Bloody Mary. I like pickled okra just on the plate.
Do you put seafood in your Bloody Marys
Yeah,
in
we
South
do.
Carolina?
Yeah, we do.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, you can make a meal off a Bloody Mary most of the places around here. I've had whole crawfish in my Bloody Marys. I've had a skewer with bacon laced in between scallops and shrimp and tomatoes and even cheese, um, all on one long skewer stuck down into the drink. Um,
Wow.
we'll fill up a Bloody Mary around here.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
have a Bloody Mary contest. You need to time your visit next year to be here for that. It's in the spring. I'll have to check the date.
Oh,
I want to say it's in March, but we have a Best Bloody Mary and Myrtle's Inlet contest.
I remember you going to that, and then
Yeah,
you disappeared for
it's
a few
yeah,
days.
the pictures. Yeah, that would be it. But the pictures of that, of course, if you're following me on Instagram at Joe Goes Everywhere, you're going to see all those.
Hmm.
Um, and
Well, you
then
were busy. I mean, that's a busy weekend, and that's important work that has to be done.
it is. I mean, I
Mhm.
need to know whether they're right when the votes are cast and they pick the best Bloody Mary. I need to know whether I agree.
I think that's if we're going to vote for anything anymore, this is the more fun things to do.
Right, that's right. If you're going to vote, vote for a Bloody Mary.
I love it. I love it. So everyone, again, Joe's got a great article, and you can see images as well on her site. You can go to recipiestravelculture.com. You can also keep up with her at haveglasswilltravel.com. But before you go, July, let's talk about what's happening next month, Sunday. We're here every second Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So where are you taking us next month?
I think I think we're going back to my home state of Virginia, and we're going to go down the Blue Ridge Parkway and check out some Funky Floyd, and where I went to graduate school in Radford. Um, Again, Italian. I tell you what, the best place in Radford is Sal's, hands down. If you go to Sal's, get a calzone, you will go back forever. And it's
Wow.
nice when you go back 30 years later and it's as good or maybe better than it was when you first had it.
Wow.
And then we'll go on down to Roanoke and Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount gets into a little bit of moonshine territory.
Oh,
So
now you're
there's,
talking our style. Yeah, yeah.
oh, I know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
speakeasy in, there's a really neat speakeasy, an old, automobile dealership has been turned into a wine and beer bar. Um, then
This is going
there's
to be a fun conversation. I have an
oh
inkling. This
yeah,
is
yeah. We'll
this
talk
is
about my great grandfather who had a little bit
moonshine.
of neighborhood moonshine going on,
He's a
and
shiner.
he was a shiner, and his neighbor was a shiner, and that neighbor's grandson has a moonshine store in Rocky Mount. So he's still making the family recipe moonshine, and they
Mm.
make some fabulous mixed drinks out of the shine. So, yeah, we got all kinds of things to talk about next time.
It sounds like it's
And a
going to be a
buffalo
happy one.
restaurant. We got to
Yeah.
talk about buffalo and more.
All right.
Everything you ever thought a buffalo could be turned into, from hot dogs and chili right on up to pot roast.
Everyone, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Keep up with us here at Big Blend Radio. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have some more fun. It's going to be more foodie fun, I think, and liquid refreshment fun with Joe next month, July again. Everyone, second Sunday. Thanks so much, Joe. Cheers
Thank
to
you.
you.
See you next month, Lisa. Have a great month.
A grape one, yes. Thanks for joining us. Keep up with Big Blend Radio's Joe Goes Everywhere podcast on bigblendradio.com. Keep up with Joe's adventures. Go to haveglasswilltravel.com and recipiestravelculture.com.